Hey, Sean from Sean's DIY and Reviews, and I have another really cool product from Teccpo to review, and I'm really glad they sent this to me. So far, I really like their products. I have done a refrigerator that they sent me, a drill, a leaf blower, and now this. So on my channel, I really only will review products that I think are good and worthwhile, so that's why, if I didn't think these guys were good, I wouldn't be getting anything else. As you've probably seen in my video on the leaf blower, it's really good. It blows really nice. I think the battery is probably not strong enough. So that'll really be the challenge, and the question is how long this battery will last if this chainsaw is something that we can use significantly. But let's go ahead and open it up, take a look in the box, and get rolling on this. So here is the box itself, and you can see the picture of the chainsaw on there. Obviously it has batteries, so it's battery powered. Generally I think most chainsaws are better if they're gas. Obviously you're gonna have more power, but hey, I mean, this is probably something that's gonna be worth a shot to at least check out. It's gonna be more light duty than heavy duty, I'm sure. So let's open this up and take a look inside. All right, so opening the box, first thing you see up here is the blade. So clearly some assembly required. There's the blade right here, or the bar at least, where the blade's gonna go around, with a cover. So that's good, it has a cover on it. Next, when you open this up, you're going to find your battery charger. So this is nice, it looks like it's the same battery charger as the leaf blower, so that's good. I'm gonna have an extra one there. I'm gonna guess this is our actual battery. So let's open this up and take a look. That's what it is. It's a 40-volt battery, which is going to be interchangeable with the leaf blower, which is great, because now I have two batteries to which I can use for either one of them. And I think that'll just make it much more easy to have enough power to do whatever it is you're doing. Next in the box is the actual saw itself. And so here it is, so they can fit in the box, nice and compact. The blade is not on. Also, you have your user manual right here, which is something I'll take a little bit of time to go through, but I'll explain to you how it all comes together and how it works. So let's pull the chainsaw itself out of the box and take a look at it, see what it looks like. But also I noticed on the side here, this is the actual chain, and it's an Oregon chain. There is the part number right there. So now here's the actual saw itself. You're going to need some bar oil to go in here, obviously to keep the chain nice and lubed. Here's where the battery goes, right here. It slips right in there. And you can see right here by pressing this how powered the battery is. It's 2 out of 3. I'm going to charge it up fully. I recommend doing that before you use it. You just press these 2 buttons to release it. So I now have the battery in the charger, and you can see both here it's flashing green, meaning it's charging, and right there you see the little lights going as well. So we'll let the batteries charge up. Once it's fully charged, that'll stop flashing green and it'll be solid green. Interestingly, on here it shows that it's obviously it's a lithium ion battery, but 101 decibels, which is the same thing that the leaf blower is. So that's kind of interesting that they're exactly the same. So I unscrewed this, and here's where you put the chain on. Okay, so here's what it looks like once that's set up. My battery is still charging, so I'm gonna let that go. The last thing I need to do is get some chain oil and put that in here, and they recommend that you keep an eye on it all the time. Fill it up after every use, or every time you're charging the battery, fill up your chain oil here. So bar oil is the preferable oil to use in this thing, but if you don't have any, I've learned that you can use vegetable oil. You could use motor oil too. Don't use used motor oil, but I decided to go with some vegetable oil because that's what I have. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this up at least halfway, and then when I get bar oil the next time, that's what I'm gonna use. One thing to always remember before you work with any chainsaw or any kind of tool like this is to put on your safety goggles. All right, I have some low-hanging branches here, and essentially what happens is our chickens love to hide underneath them, so I figured these are the perfect things to cut and show you how it works.
chainsaw is really.
All right, so I'm gonna cut one that's probably about I don't know, an inch thick and see how that goes. So yeah, it handles that pretty well, inches, and it still shows a full battery. So I'm gonna chop up the rest of this and show you what it looks like in the end when I'm done. I have a medium-sized branch here that's dead, so I'm gonna try to take on this branch and see how it works. That's not a bad sized little log that it definitely cut through. So I'm definitely impressed with this thing. I would say it does a pretty darn good job. And I used vegetable oil to lube the chain, and that seems to be working well too. Taking something. So now I'm just cutting up pieces of wood that I have, and I definitely have to say I'm impressed. I didn't think anything less than 14 inches could do anything. This is actually better than an electric one, I think. I borrowed an electric 14-inch, and this thing does a heck of a better job than that. So let's cut up some bigger wood and kind of watch how that works. So with everything out there, there's always pros and cons. So I think I've listed a lot of the pros. Here are the cons that I'm seeing, and again, this just could be me not knowing what's going on or not using this properly. So tell me in the comments if my expectations are right or not. I think they're minor, but you know, I want to point out pros and cons with everything. So let's look at the saw real quick. Now the battery lasts forever. I cut a whole bunch of branches, been using this for over an hour, and the battery's still going a little bit. I think I'm close to empty, but you know, it definitely goes. The other thing is the chain seems to come loose a lot, and maybe it's just because it's a new chain. So tell me in the comments below, should I expect a lot of you know, a lot of stretching in a new chain? I know you should expect some, but I've been tightening this down quite a bit. Here might be the other issue. If I take off the blade cover here, I thought on many other chainsaws that I've seen there's an extra bolt here, but there isn't an extra bolt to hold this in place. So I'm thinking maybe if there was an extra bolt that it would stay on there tighter, and maybe not just this guy here holding it in place. Now I'm guessing that's probably the bolt that's kind of pushing this down. So possibly it's not a chain stretch, and it might just be that this is moving a little bit. So that I'm not 100% sure about, but I've had to adjust it a half a dozen times, but maybe that's okay. I just want to make sure that you get a fully informed decision, and to me this is minor. I say that this thing is working fantastically, good battery life, cuts through up to probably 2.5 inch pieces that I've done so far. No trouble, whether it was cutting it off the tree or just kind of cutting down pieces. I'll show you how much I've done. So right over here, this pile of wood was all long pieces, and I cut this all down into smaller pieces here, so that was a lot. And then over here, this was a big long limb that I had as well, and I just cut this into logs. So all these pieces here were cut as well. So after about 30 minutes of cutting down a bunch of branches and stuff, I'd have to say this thing is actually pretty darn good. I'm impressed. There's still 2 bars of battery left after cutting down probably a dozen or so branches and chopping some stuff up. So battery seems to last a while too, and you can get a good amount of work done with this. So is it for cutting down big trees? No, but if you're cutting limbs and stuff like that, then by all means, I can definitely highly recommend this thing. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Check around some of the other videos I've done. I do a lot of tool reviews, DIY around the house projects, as well as electronics reviews. If that's of interest to you, I hope I earn you as a subscriber. See you in the next video.